What is up? My name is Darcy. Welcome back to another episode of Off the Dome. Here we speak off the dome. Let's get straight to it, man. Today's topic is about why it's difficult to learn a new language and maybe some tips also. If you got enough time, I might share some tips. But I'm on my third language now. I know English. I'm native. I know Spanish, and I'm learning Portuguese now. The goal hopefully is to be intermediate in Portuguese right now. I'm probably a beginner, but I'm taking classes, so obviously my way is going to be a little bit easier because classes are more structured. But learning a language is so hard because we have to literally be consistent non-stop. And when you learn a new language, it's really important to be consistent in the beginning so you can understand the structure, the grammar. But a lot of times when once we're older, we become busy with work. We might get tired, stressed out, frustrated, and we kind of not give up, but we don't put as much effort into it. And and that's totally normal. A lot of people don't understand when you learn a language, there's going to be ups and downs, ebbs and flows. And people don't really like that feeling of failing, you know? When you're learning a language, it's just like all those self help books. You can read, you can think, but if you don't speak, you won't get anywhere. So it's really important you take the time to speak. And this is where a lot of people get nervous, get scared. They don't want to be a beginner. They don't want to fail. They want to come out and say it perfectly. But we have to accept failure in this process, in this road. Because the only way we are really going to truly learn this language is if we fail. So speaking is the hardest part of learning a language. Reading the grammar book, looking at it, okay, yo, tu me gusta, okay, okay. But in a real life conversation and in class, if you're not speaking, if you're not practicing, that is going to deter you from learning faster. So, like I said, that you can study all the books, you can read all the materials, know everything in your head, but if you don't put this into action, what's gonna happen? Nothing. Nothing's gonna happen. So I pray that you guys understand this and understand that if you're learning a language, I am so proud of you. You are doing something that takes a lot of energy, takes a lot of effort out of you, and it's not easy. So I salute you, I applaud you because you're doing something that's gonna take a long time, but it's gonna be really rewarding for you. And I'm gonna be here to help you, along this process. We all need help, and as someone who's an English teacher who's on his third language, I know how it is. I can see it from both sides. And the thing I see the most is we are afraid to speak. We're afraid to be perceived by others as failed, our accent, our pronunciation. And I get it, if I'm teaching someone in Spanish, their accent, it could be funny. I speak in Spanish, mi acento puede ser more gracioso. Like, I don't really try to perfect my accent, so, you know, people always laugh. But I don't care. The important thing is they understand me. That's the most important thing. And so I just brush it off my shoulders because hey, I'm doing the best I can. Like, hey, you better than nothing. At least they know what I'm saying. And yeah, a lot of times that's the hardest part, being perceived by others. We don't want to be judged. We don't want to be looked at as failures, but we have to speak. We have to speak. So Understand that maybe the first few times people aren't going to understand. Maybe the first few times you're not going to know what to say. It's not going to make sense. But that is how you get through the process. That is how you build resilience. That is how you learn from your mistakes. How are you going to learn if you don't make any mistakes? How are you going to start if you don't have any experience? You know, these words I'm saying are real, and the only way for you to really adjust is to fail. So don't wait for the perfect moment to speak. Don't wait for the perfect moment to say the perfect sentence. You know, if you have a challenge, try to attack that challenge head on, 100%. You know, in my classes, you know, I think speaking is really important. So I always try to say speak, speak, speak. Even if you don't know what you're saying, the important part is you're having this experience of speaking, you know, the experience of trying to get your brain to coordinate with your mind, the language you're learning. And so yeah, maybe I'll see more about that. But the next thing is when people are talking about TV, music, Netflix, and subtitles. You know, people always ask me about subtitles, always ask me about music. And I want to talk about the subtitles first because subtitles are really challenging also. If you watch a Netflix show and you want to take away the subtitles, people get frustrated because they don't know what's going on without the subtitles. And I'll be honest, even when I'm watching in English, bro, I need them subtitles, bro, because I be like, if I don't know the subtitles, I might not be able to hear. I don't know why, but nowadays I have to use subtitles all the time. Maybe I'm getting older. Let me know in the comments, bro, what y'all think about that. But when we're watching a TV show, the best thing you can do is watch a show you already know, you've already watched before, without subtitles. Okay? And here's the thing that you're not gonna like. Once you remove those subtitles, you're not going to understand. You're not going to understand. Your brain is the first time your brain is trying to comprehend something without reading something. Try to comprehend something without help. You're testing your audio and what you read are two different parts of the brain. I don't know what parts, but they're different. I can't attest to that because once I take away those subtitles, I don't know what's going on, man. I'm like, huh? Like, como? Like, you know what I'm saying? So, taking away those subtitles the first few times, you have to accept you're not going to know what's going on. That's why I recommend trying to watch a show you've already seen before, trying to watch a easy plot, easy storyline, because you're just not, like, your brain is going to get tired, it's going to get fatigued, it's going to give up, and that's okay. It's like you going outside to run 2 miles for the first time. You're going to be tired, like, you're going to be dead, you're going to be sore, taking a huge nap after, because your body it's never had that experience before. And the good thing about subtitles is, to start with subtitles, it's important to start in, so the audio should be in your native language, and then have the subtitles in the language you're learning. First step. Excuse me. Second step, try to watch a show that isn't from your country. You know, if you're from Spain, try to watch a show like The Office or Friends, and then have the audio in English and the subtitles in Spanish. These are levels, you know, if you really want to practice, levels are always good. And then finally, well, not finally, but let me see what else you can do. I think it's like remove the subtitles. Is it remove subtitles? I don't know, I forget. But let's just say that now the last step is to ultimately remove the subtitles. So yeah, remove the subtitles, or have them in English or in whatever language you're learning. A good tip I would say is 30 minutes, 30 minutes. You know, if it shows an hour, half and half with subtitles, half without. You know, try to give your brain a nice build up. Don't go straight forward. Don't just watch a 2 hour movie, no subtitles. Like, that's going commando, and your brain is going to fatigue after 45, 30 minutes. So try to build it up. Watch a show, no subtitles, 2 minutes. Watch a show, no subtitles, 30 minutes. Then boom, boom, go to an hour, boom, 2 hours. Boom, go back. 30 minutes here, 30 minutes off, boom. All right, we have to build up to that. If you really want to, feel comfortable, feel okay with not understanding what's going on. Um, so yes, and with music, TV shows, shadowing is one of the best things I can say. If it's really simple, it's really easy to do. You can do it whenever. And this is literally just saying or reading the lyrics, reading the subtitles out loud as it's going. So, in music, karaoke, singing the song, la la la, singing it and trying to sound like the singer. And in the TV show, you can try to go right with the subtitles, So you're watching your show, you're like, okay, and you're reading it and saying it aloud. So that way you're trying to practice pronunciation, listening at the same time. This tip is really useful. I do this a lot in TV shows. I do this a lot with music. I love music. I learn with music a lot more than TV, just because I love music. And yeah, just understand, guys, there's no one way to learn a language. There's many ways, many, many, many ways. So whatever works for you. For me, music works. For me, maybe reading. If I'm really advanced, I would say reading. Reading is going to take some time. So if you like to read, it could be easier for you. If you really love movies, movies. So no, there's not one size fits all. Know that there's many ways to learn. So yeah, to sum this up, man, I'll say we have to fail. We have to make mistakes. We have to make errors. We have to jump into the unknown. We have to understand that we don't know what's going on when we're learning a language. But that's only the beginning. We get to bring in this unknown life, okay? So if you're learning a language, stay strong. Most importantly, stay consistent. And most importantly, make it a part of your lifestyle. We always are wondering, like, hey, is class just enough? No, when you wake up, put on some music. When you're washing the dishes, talk to yourself. What are you doing? Estoy lavando las platos. Once you make it a part of our lifestyle, part of our routine, it becomes that much easier to get the language into our head. But if we're just doing class, if we're just doing 1 hour a day, it might take a long time, especially if you're older. The older you are, it might take a longer time, to be honest. So with that, I say those are some tips about learning a language, why it's so hard. And yeah, let me know what you think. If you need some more tips, I'm going to make a part 2. Like, comment, subscribe. And we off the dome. Until next time, peace out, my people.